they've been absolutely standing up to the challenge, and I can't wait to see them get into the pitch. We're getting underway now. It is, of course, over at Manfield. This is going to be fun.
Show the match, please, they said. Your wish is granted. Welcome to Rocket League. Welcome to 5 minutes on the clock. Welcome to this best of 5, which is sure to be fierce. In orange, you got yourself KAYDOP. In blue, the Troglodytes. And I feel like we haven't mentioned too much about them, Bacon. But worth mentioning, all three, the prototypical bubble player, right? FORECE, Ray, TEMPOH, all three can pop off in the right circumstances.
Oh, definitely. Like, these are real, like, you know this is a step up to the semi-finals, and these are all favorites to go the whole way and maybe even win it all. And we're bigging up RYSFOX, but TEMPOH has had a great offseason himself. FORECE is kind of the Frenchman that should, but CHAUSETTE, I mean, the sock man cometh.
He cometh indeed. But it all comes through KAYDOP. That's an excellent infield pass, and the communication with CHAUSETTE, we expect it to be great by this point. Long time friends. You've got to be quick to get to that far post, or should I say the near post in this particular scenario, and it's beautifully put away. Would you expect no less?
No, short answer for you
Exactly.
there. And,
there you
well, you can expect their opponents over on Troglodytes wanting to get that comeback goal, but easier said than done. FORECE, brilliant touch to push that wide, but KAYDOP is so quick to close it down.
This RYSFOX goes down by TEMPOH to FORECE, looking back for TEMPOH, but CHAUSETTE intercepts. Bit of a weird touch, but KAYDOP reads it well enough. FORECE taking out CHAUSETTE in the meanwhile. TEMPOH sees now an open field, as does Ray, as does FORECE. The bump from RYSFOX, the demo, somehow it goes in, not by their own making, however.
Yeah, I don't think they were going fast enough for this one. It might just been that knock. I have no clue. Might just go out at the last moment, but nonetheless inspired the full send. Even if they didn't get the demo, they would have got the bump. It would have still been a goal. Great response from Troglodytes.
The audacity to run the KAYDOP on the KAYDOP! The audacity to do this!
The KAYDOP back in your face here. The 1-2 punch. Running the banner as well. Rai is not messing about today.
He's on that lightning McQueen. I was going to say he's got to go fast. Wrong franchise! But going supersonic speeds is certainly part of the game plan, it seems, for the Troglodytes. No such thing as Alexa play Despacito for me just for the moment. They are running quite happily indeed after going 1-0 down. Now finding themselves 2-1 up. FORECE is going to pick this up from the side wall and just plays for time ever so sweetly. No boost in the wagon. TEMPOH, I mean, now he's got 100, but he's got his teammates to run the length of the field to give him a moment to step into the play.
Alexa played Despacito. Like, where did you dust that one from? That is such an old
Oh, the meme catalog from like 2 years ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fine vintage, that one.
Yes, the older they get, the danker they are, as the kids would say. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Now, to be fair, this has been as competitive as I would have expected. Oh, FORECE caresses that into the back of the net.
Also, like, this is dirty. Great touch from TEMPOH, but the expectation broken, and then so much control to finish it off. That's my favorite goal of the night so far.
3 more, and it's not KAYDOP's favorite goal of the night, that's for sure. To go from, again, 1-0 up, they've now conceded 3 on the bounce. Defense looking a little fragile, and again, 6s and 7s for the moment of the team in orange. Ray, that's RYSFOX picking his pocket. FORECE has that well covered on the backboard, takes it back down to earth and takes it into the sky again. Lovely musty flick, that's almost caught out CHAUSETTE. Nice reactions here, again to the top of the box. RYSFOX looking to transition through KAYDOP, but this midfield presence from the Troglodytes is mighty.
And that is the aim of their game. Continuous pressure towards that backboard, towards the goal, force out the defenders, and then with that final touch, when it's just on a one-on-one scenario, they can win it. Demos as well. TEMPOH is going to have a difficulty here. CHAUSETTE is in front, but KAYDOP is back in the mix after that demo, and so it's kind of all broken up, but FORECE has been working his way around players beautifully and should have great control on this to get it downfield.
Challenge on KAYDOP basically trips up his teammate there. KAYDOP to move forward. spots the 100 boost, but not for long. Got nothing to work with now as TEMPOH throws it away. Down to CHAUSETTE, who forced to go sideways there and doesn't really run into much apart from trouble. FORECE sees an open net, hits the crossbar. Gray follows up. I don't know. Is it time for their evening nap? I mean, they do have a couple of old men on their team.
Saying that, what is KAYDOP right now? Probably the oldest there?
He's gotta be, right?
Right.
He's like 23 or something. I'll go and check. I'll go and check.
Oh, I was already looking at it, but don't worry, because KAYDOP's on the ball once again. Proving you can teach an old dog new tricks, but I mean, KAYDOP's more of a lion than a dog. He is absolutely fierce on the pitch.
He's 25? Oh my words. I
He's
mean,
got to have a Zimmer frame and everything.
That is older than I was expecting. CHAUSETTE, for the reference of everybody else, 22 years old. And then, of course, you've got RYSFOX, 16. So you've got experience. I know, right? You've got experience. You've got youthful enthusiasm. And it will be the experience that finally finds the back of the net. It's a 2-goal game yet again. CHAUSETTE to KAYDOP. 2 in 40 seconds more. Now, that is still possible.
And above all else, you've got KACHAO. That's all that matters here. Who can get it? Both sides trying to show that up the most they can. 2 goals differential. I mean, KACHAO need to get enough one here and now to kind of give themselves a little bit of breathing room. You can see they're building towards it. RYSFOX trying to get bumped, but it's just not happening. They can't break that back line.
Nice bounce over the top. RYSFOX to KAYDOP. That's beautifully placed. Uh-oh.
I don't mind cursing that moment because this was exquisite. That second touch, everything. KAYDOP allowed the open net, right, coming from the opposite end, just had to put the power behind it, connect, and does exactly that.
You see everybody joining Avec 2, indeed. Lovely to see you all in here, all supporting the team that it feels like everybody in France wants to win right now. KACHAO need to get this to the other side of the field, however. They drive through CHAUSETTE. Lovely read by KAYDOP. TEMPOH sets it up for CHAUSETTE possibly. Anchor, oh, he just miscontrols it though at the worst time. Tries to break it down. RYSFOX, the Belgian, stepping in through, going to the backboard. FORECE spikes it, and CHAUSETTE just get this one across the line.
Great spike as well there from FORECE, just throwing it down to ground, giving a bit of safety, but nonetheless, I think this game you got to be talking about RYSFOX there. 3 goals. Absolute striking force from this squad, but FORECE and TEMPOH have been great wingmen and defenders. The whole squad feels really in sync right now. Normally you'd expect that from KACHAO. I was going to say KAYDOP, whatever. Tongue twister, does not matter. They're struggling with the defense, KACHAO today, and they should be able to pick that up throughout the series. You know, it's a simple best of 5. We'll see them really go to that next level.
Sure, ball possession, favor of KACHAO. Even field domination in favor of KACHAO. Wait a second. That scoreboard looks slightly amiss. It would be TROGLODITAS surely in the blue who have that field possession and indeed the ball domination. I'm not surprised. They were midfield menaces. They were intercepting any sort of passing or driving lane that KACHAO were trying to enter. Now, admittedly, TROGLODITAS, they did allow KACHAO in there at the end. I think that's more on KACHAO starting to up their own pressure and to find those passes successfully. But let's give credit where credit is due. TROGLODITAS won that because of the consistency of their attacking threats. With 4 shots on target for 2 of their players, it's no doubt that they were able to output 4 goals by the end of the game.
Going to be very fine margins in a series like this. Great win by CHAUSETTE. TEMPOH on the inside. A lot of time and space being given. Not on that back post. An absolute closeout onto KAYDOP.
It's FORECE. Backboard. TEMPOH tries to go near post. And unfortunately, the post has other ideas. A little too sharp an angle for their taste. And now the throwaway from CHAUSETTE down onto the backboard through the corner. TEMPOH really starting as they mean to go on here. KACHAO knocking on the door. RYSFOX picks up the pieces. KAYDOP with a challenge. FORECE forced up, utilizing precious boost. But that is perfect. Don't put it on the backboard. Put it to the side. Another good setup from KACHAO. RYSFOX to CHAUSETTE. Oh, it hits the post, but this time on the blue side.
All the ideas are there. The execution just missing a little little bit of boost. That is the difference maker right now for KAYDOP. But they've got confidence in themselves. They know how to work the opposition. They're predicting them well. You can see the RYSFOX. Oh, but the defenders stepping up to the challenge.
CHAUSETTE forces FORECE to go, but gets the demo, does FORECE. Open lane, but TEMPOH to strike. Save at the top of the bar by CHAUSETTE.
Good touch as well from FORECE. Able to keep the challenge going, forcing KAYDOP to move early onto the ball to get the clearance away. Right? Once the second player, the turn-up is just floating through the air, looking for those dislodges. Doesn't find anything, and instead it's a clearance downfield by KAYDOP.
Beats CHAUSETTE to the punch as well. CHAUSETTE has to be careful, has to readjust the car to basically help his own team rather than set up the opposition. TEMPOH looking for a demo. KAYDOP, smart, calm, cruising through the air, but again the pressure from Trogloditas is irresistible. Wave dash, the challenge from FORECE. Readjusting quickly is KAYDOP. RYSFOX driving forward too. Lovely handover shot. Save away by TEMPOH.
Really great short passes here from KAYDOP, making sure that whilst your opponents are very spaced out, they've got a lot of area to cover. You're forcing those minor sort of jumps across net, very quick predictions, super hard to follow up on, but nonetheless, they're trying their darndest to break through that defense.
It's the fanciest aerial back pass I've seen in a couple of ticks. Speaking of, we're at half time. It's come and gone, still 0-0. And either side really could have taken the lead by now. 2 versus 1. That shot is well wide. RYSFOX now up, throws it downfield. FORECE forced up, has to go once again. Corella into his control, into the backboard, infield. TEMPOH yet again on hand to make the save. Tried to find FORECE, only found RYSFOX. Right, very carefully puts it off to the side yet again. FORECE now at the spear, at the head of the spear, I should say. TEMPOH up to challenge KAYDOP, too slow. CHAUSETTE unchallenged, takes to the sky yet again, but there's FORECE with a block. Now it's KAYDOP. That shot is blocked and away it goes again, I should say. Or does it? CHAUSETTE with another shot and another follow-up tonight.
Trogloditas are looking to break down the play style from KAYDOP. Notice how they're trying to be rotational. Move it right to left, go in circular motions, keep those rotations perfectly in place. And so Trogloditas want to throw it onto the same side, but it's so much easier said than done. Great little touch, push it away, alleviate that pressure, and the follow-up from right is ace.
The defense from Trogloditas isn't chaotic, but it's certainly unpredictable in where they're going to throw the ball next. KAYDOP don't really have the read on the situation, and that's fantastic to see just how well Trogloditas are dealing with the pressure, but they've got to get down the other end and they've got to score, otherwise they are not winning this Rocket League game. That's their first shot in a hot second, and still they cannot push forward. The attempted back pass finds FORECE eventually, but look at that, the wonderful Kuxir pinch gives a bit of breathing room now to the orange side as FORECE looks to set up Rai. Isn't going to reach him.
But you can see the result of this. Trogloditas are playing slightly slower than they did in the opening half, and that is because they're trying to maneuver the ball around the pitch into places that are awkward for KAYDOP. That natural playstyle was favoring KAYDOP, and Trogloditas, seeing that, will alter themselves.
RYSFOX is getting it free with the TEMPOH in, but the bump on TEMPOH does enough to throw his threat away. Right. Doesn't even hit the backboard. This RYSFOX again. TEMPOH unable to challenge the fade from RYSFOX, but no one on the same wavelength as him to pick up the pieces. FORECE, lovely touch there again, wins the challenge, but is there someone to put it home? The answer is no. I think both teams happy to settle for an overtime, and that's just what they're going to get.
Crazy after that last game, right? Seeing nothing scored. A sudden death moment if you've ever seen it. Well, CHAUSETTE should be able to scrape it away. No, the lead for the post. What?
That's smart into no man's land. It wasn't even no man's land. FORECE was occupying the land as I spoke. His TEMPOH, difficult to see what he wants to do here. He goes through the corner ultimately, comes to nothing. FORECE keeps the pressure on. No touch on this particular clearance. Rai was hoping to recycle, ends up just winning 2 challenges in a row, retains it for himself. 2 FORECE, 1-0, it's enough.
And it is all about that recycle. The defense weren't ready. RYSFOX was not there for it. Right, knocking it back in. That 14 boost, very, very vital there. Just get enough power and force across to FORECE. Troglodytas taking game 2. Uh-oh, KAYDOP.
LA, the reverse sweep. The French fans scream, but are they going to get the opportunity to do it? KAYDOP is playing really, really well until it comes to the point of scoring bacon. Troglodytas' defense and tempo in particular, sensational. Brilliant, so intelligent in, again, not just sending it straight back to KAYDOP to give them more free shots, but looking and seeing, well, okay, if I can't pass it to one of my teammates here to try and initiate some sort of transition and counter-attacking play, let's throw it to somewhere where nobody is, because that burns time off the clock. It gives them more time to try and set up their rotation again or find a little bit more boost. I am so thoroughly impressed.
And well, you got to think as well, whilst yes, the French fans are in favor of KAYDOP, Troglodytas have got FORECE, right? So there's got to be this sort of awkward air because you're seeing this player, and FORECE has been one of these that have been talked about for ages that can really hit that top caliber, and now is finding this squad with Riot and TEMPOH, both players as well that you would expect to be able to hit that top caliber. They just finally found the trio that works for them, and sure, they've not had the consistent results, but you look at how they're playing. That last game for me really solidified their capabilities. There was that smartness in their play to be able to adapt and evolve that game.
Now, CHAUSETTE, a little bit desperate perhaps. They have switched to the Fennec, but it was the Fennec of RYSFOX who almost earned the opener there. Only the woodwork denying it as RYSFOX gets a demo. TEMPOH's got to read this well, does so, as does FORECE, who makes the save before CHAUSETTE's shot even left a front bumper. KAYDOP in front. That's cute from RYSFOX, but FORECE again on hand to make a second save within 10 seconds.
So we come back to this quick play style like we saw at the start of game 2. It comes down to KAYDOP to want to keep this, try and force out those mistakes, those sort of jumps that are way too predictive and they just don't hit the mark.
KAYDOP, that's another shot that unfortunately was going to hit woodwork before FORECE picked up a savior medal within the first minute. He's been on fire, as was TEMPOH in game number 2, but surely, eventually, the Bastions are going to fall here. FORECE, another save to add to his connection. CHAUSETTE goes up now, but is not going to reach the ball before Rai does to FORECE. KAYDOP has to face up in front of it, sets up beautifully from RYSFOX now, looking for CHAUSETTE. CHAUSETTE backboard, CHAUSETTE angle, it's on the backboard, and that's home for KAYDOP.
It was building and building. They got the bricks, the cement, paving the road, and finally, this was the moment. RYSFOX to CHAUSETTE, CHAUSETTE to the backboard, and then the set in front of net. It took so many plays. You saw that whole sequence beforehand was about building up boost as well, showing the smartness of the squad and that they don't need to rush for net.
All they want for Christmas is Ka-chow. Do the fans. The reverse sweep potentially on its way, but they need to do a heck of a lot more than score just the one goal. Troglodytas will look to make sure of that, and it all begins from square one yet again, but sent back to square one are Troglodytas, although moving forward a little bit more successfully now. What a great, preemptive demo from RYSFOX, although still the ball lingers in this orange half. FORECE, again, excellent interception from CHAUSETTE. RYSFOX throws it away, too hot for TEMPOH to handle.
Right, just buying time. RYSFOX being watched by TEMPOH there. The confidence of these players to be like, yeah, you can get touch on the ball, you can hammer it towards the backboard, but I'm going to win because I'm looking 2-3 plays ahead. Exhibit CHAUSETTE. This was beautifully sort of watched there. You can see him lingering about in the midfield. Saw what his teammates were doing, how the defense was knocking the ball up in the air, and then sunk it.
That is a very pretty play. That's a very, very pretty play, and it's a play only possible because you can tell that all three of these guys are both instinctually and vocally in sync with each other. Now that's a bit of daylight. 2-0 at halftime.
Well, you talk about that in sync as well. That's where it's impressive of RYSFOX, where at 16, does not have the experience that the other two has, but can then just sort of have that full trust in them and follow each command, and is now building towards giving those same commands back. RYSFOX has kind of jumped a few hurdles, and it's incredible.
he's on a dream team if you go back 2 or 3 years. Of course, 2 or 3 years is a long time in Rocket League, but there is nothing to say that there aren't a few more tricks to be deployed from the old dogs just yet. Speaking of, KAYDOP, RYSFOX should really be a goal, somehow isn't. CHAUSETTE was trying to set up RYSFOX again, but RYSFOX was already on the way out.
Danger throwing that towards the orange net, straight in the hands of RYSFOX, but KAYDOP wants to get out of dodge, wants to pick up the 100. Again, looking to build up this continuous pressure and wait for that crack to form. Ball sent across net. CHAUSETTE is comfortable enough to turn around, is looking for KAYDOP, instead going towards the blank. Point blank on the net. Doesn't quite work out. FORECE is beautiful there. Just so confident in those body blocks.
Even got the demo did right, but now it's open playing field for RYSFOX. Lovely flick to KAYDOP. Right again with the denial, 60 seconds left. But just in general, Bacon, I've been so much more impressed with the attacking prowess of KAYDOP. Far more change-ups of pace, much more achievable passing plays. You don't have to go cross-field to make it look good and ultimately find success in the form of goals.
Well, it's because they know time was their friend, essentially, so they don't need to force the issue. Opposite situation here for Troglodytas, where there's only 30 seconds left, expecting to get physical, expecting to try and rush their opponents, because they need 2 goals and time's not waiting around for them.
RYSFOX, FORECE. Close down, not for the first time, and it's these follow-up plays, these shadow plays. Another element which I'm so much more impressed by. The ball, the runaway, the attempted pre-read, finds it, does Ray to FORECE. Oh, great play, and it somehow still slips in. TEMPOH's giving them a chance.
Absolute connections between them, right to FORECE, beautiful, but the read from TEMPOH to be out on the wings, knowing that that is the exit path of the ball. Beautifully read, put towards the defender. It was a power shot at net. Yes, it was hopeful, but it got the job done. They're still in the game. The pass towards FORECE, but KAYDOP is able to intercept.
Far. How many more times do you want me to do this? Far too readable from TEMPOH. I mean, goodness, that could have been in a completely different language and they would have been able to read that. 3-1, ka-chow indeed. Can you hear the broom closet opening, Bacon? KAYDOP on the board.
Yes, the brooms are out, but the action isn't there. They're just being held aloft in the air as a mighty cheer for the first game. They've got to get to work. They need to start sweeping.
Just look at the saves. 9 saves for Troglodytas. 72% field domination. Not for Hello Ladies. For KAYDOP, we promise this isn't an alternate universe. This actually really genuinely is happening.
So I can explain that is essentially when a player leaves in that last situation when CHAUSETTE left to go get onto the Fennec, right? That's what broke the overlay. So now that no one is left, I can confirm it. We're all good.
Wow. Wow. Speaking of Owen Wilson, 16 shots on target from KAYDOP. The fact that Troglodytas saved over half of them is very impressive. I find it impressive that they got 7 shots off themselves, but RYSFOX, in terms of the overall score system there, is significantly behind. And I don't know whether that was intentional from KAYDOP, whether they were looking to try and remove his presence from the game, but either way it worked because RYSFOX can be such a creative force all on his own, so locking him down means that you are immediately limited. I mean, especially on those countering attacks. He was barely mentioned,
and that's going to be a difficulty. Now, how do Troglodytas sort of solve that? How do they remedy that issue if you've got one player that's locked down? We saw that they were able to sort out that they were being rushed in Game 2. In Game 3, actually getting a player removed, making those rotations wonky, not as comfortable. They didn't find the answer to it. They now have to do that in Game 4 because KAYDOP, RYSFOX, and CHAUSETTE will be then still hammering on right. Or they'll look for FORECE. TEMPOH, they'll still look to lock out one player because it's a winning strategy currently for them.
I love demos on counter-attacks because you know what? It means that you've got one less player to worry about by the time you get back into your rotational defense. CHAUSETTE with the throwaway, right up to TEMPOH. Oh, TEMPOH actually decides to duck out of it, but as does his opponent, the flick in, and FORECE before he could nick that into the back of the net, it's KAYDOP with the carry downfield, RYSFOX with a dispossessed RYSFOX now. TEMPOH forces to go straight back into the corner where we see CHAUSETTE stepping in. FORECE wins this challenge, but there's RYSFOX. Time and time again, positionally speaking, KAYDOP are flawless.
The Troglodytes right now, their game plan is just buy time. They're looking for those counterattacks. Keep it in their own half, try and pull up the attackers from KAYDOP, maybe get them a little bit overextended, and then get that runaway when they can try and force a 2v1 scenario.
FORECE, he's beaten past one. I like the idea that the attempted pinch off the backboard, but it just gives a little bit more space to KAYDOP to move out. That said, TEMPOH! Oh! That's it!
Was not a situation they were expecting to score from. TEMPOH here was just this lodge away. No one is home. He tries his chances. 4D chess master on his tag, and yes, he was thinking in a whole different dimension.
He's got his hat, but I doth mine to the excellent placement, excellent goal. Big moment in this series as KAYDOP, despite all of the aggression, find themselves behind. Yet again, tenacity from the Troglodytes as RYSFOX travels the length of the field yet again. TEMPOH registering a save. CHAUSETTE beats RYSFOX now. Here's the quick turnaround from FORECE. RYSFOX again had to be quick on their feet, or I guess their wheels in this case. KAYDOP there was on the march. TEMPOH, little boost, doesn't get that second touch, but it does fall so kindly for RYSFOX.
I think they've got to be looking for that second goal as well, Troglodytes. KAYDOP, such wise heads will not be rattled by such a goal. It's only a singular one. They know they're still in this game, they're still in this series, and they have that winning mentality to go the whole way through to the grand finals and win it all.
Through the rafters, FORECE wastes valuable time as we pass the halfway mark. KAYDOP only need one, and the parity is being restored. RYSFOX had that chance. TEMPOH denied it. KAYDOP now, backboard for CHAUSETTE. No, there's TEMPOH yet again stepping in. RYSFOX playing with fire.
Such great communication though. RYSFOX knew that CHAUSETTE was there, knew they had to be fast. They couldn't allow their opposition to push and force an issue in their half. So instead, that passing play off the backboard, it was exquisite. The issue though, Troglodytes have got them locked into their own half because they focused on that midfield line afterwards. The ball was being played out to them and they were able to just put a wall up.
CHAUSETTE up high. Tries to throw it onwards to RYSFOX. Finds him. KAYDOP infield. It's loose. And TEMPOH all the way down the other side of the field. RYSFOX into the center. TEMPOH a little too far forward. Leaves it to FORECE, who can only really go sideways. RYSFOX now. That's lovely. 58 boost leaves it. Shot on target. Attempted bump play. RYSFOX unfazed.
Oh, unfazed though. That was a nervous scenario. Great idea from RYSFOX, but CHAUSETTE being able to read through it. FORECE with a knockdown field. TEMPOH has been left slow. TEMPOH actually jumps out at it. That is nutty.
Get it out the stove. It's a deep dish doozy, baby. Brilliant work. It's almost like an ice skate to this. Just surreptitiously bringing that car back in around so that they could tap it into the back of the net. Gorgeous goal. Daylight for the blue team.
Creativity for days. And oh, TEMPOH. Beautiful little pass up. Unfortunate that FORECE wasn't able to get there in time. But again, breaking all expectations. Troglodytes, that is the feather in their cap.
They need goals. They need them now. Do KAYDOP. The big wall of Troglodytes stands firm. Everything going wrong for KAYDOP at the worst moments. The potential reverse sweep. The closet being closed away, and it's all thanks to TEMPOH and his 2 goals. 30 seconds left, it's on your screens.
You say to TEMPOH, it was to the entire squad. Right, 2 saves. FORECE with one himself. The passes as well. The whole team has been working together in fantastic unity.
2 titles consecutively It could have been 3 today, but a different story will be written. Fantasy creatures, fantasy performance, Trogloditas dismiss KAYDOP 3-1 in the series.
KAYDOP going to be reeling from that. Like you said, a hat trick of wins would have been beautiful. There is still a chance. We still have more rendezvous, and I expect to see more of KAYDOP in the future. But Trogloditas will be pushing themselves through into the next round. So I quickly just take a look at the bracket. We don't have a confirmed opponent just yet. Lorry Drivers, 100%. They're in Game 5 on the Rocket Baguette stream.
They most certainly are, and the Lorry Drivers themselves going for a 3rd title here on the Rendezvous, so plenty on the line. You don't want to miss it, folks, so stay put. Bacon, thank you so much for joining us today. You're going to be getting the deck chair out and relaxing back, Craftman, to join me on the car soon enough when we return the grand final of Rendezvous number 9.